Greetings, all you people out there in the big wide world. I was going to say TV land, but I'm in TV land. You are where you are. You are where you are. You are where you are. I'm in TV land. See? It's all very simple now that we get that straight. And yes, pretty intense yesterday. Try not to scuff my feet because that's annoying, loud. Alright, and we are walking the dogs, taking the dogs for a walk. And there was some random garbled nonsense written on the back of the toilet door here at the campground this morning. Something about Trump and Obama and you know, it's just like it's interesting what people feel inspired to share on the, you know, public toilet doors. It didn't make much sense. It was a bit of a play on Forrest Gump or something, I think. Not sure, and someone corrected it. Weird. And then I was like, what do I want? What would I like to read on there? What would I write myself to share? I was like, wound up right. I like trees. You know? Like, yeah, that's where I am right now. So that is TV land when you're off in the world of mainstream media. And, you know, those people have got a very important job to do, whoever's using our collective resources and the authority we give them to create a level playing field for everyone to live and do business. And yeah, and so we have just had an election, which is good. If you're having elections, that's good. And if they have any meaning, and if the people running for those elections do anything that they will do, everything that they have said they will do, being impeccable with their word, then that's good. That's great. That's seems like some form of democratic process happening. And the more educated we are and responsible for our own selves, you know, the stronger our society will be. You know, the social fabric of our togetherness in working together and sharing and just making a better world. And just talking to my dad about the Sustainable Australia Party, who have got some really good policies, and you know, to him it really is a novel idea to have this universal basic income, but he really supports that party, and I think he, you know, that's something that he probably never would have agreed with in the past, but having really heard about it from a informed, logical perspective, he can see the logical, the rationality of it, where, you know, if we assume that no one's going to work, everyone's just going to sit at home, eat food on a very low income. It's only the basic income. It's, you know, like he said, it's, you know, don't people pay more than $500 a week rent? At the moment we're getting like $300 and like not less than $400 a week for Social Security, and and even $500, which is, you know, you can live on it, and you can live on it quite well if you're not paying rent. You know, you can get rent assistance to pay your rent, if you know, so that does pay part of your rent, doesn't pay your rent. Then how much do we need to live on? And it's funny because, you know, I see these, you know, the baby boomer generate, the retirees traveling around their caravans, and quite happily, I'm not sure how much, you know, they don't go far from their caravan, but they do some miles on the road and get out and, you know, see lots of different places and you know, and just the caravan's a nice place to be, and they're usually sitting outside of a daytime and an evening, and yeah, good on them. But the whole thing of like paying rent or a mortgage and having this urban dwelling that we all base our lives around at some point, and quite often it's essential. Like, yeah, if you're studying, working, doing an essential job in the city or town, you need to live close by. Whoop! Your work. Whoop! Buddy, whoop! 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 Yeah, here they come. You can watch them coming. But do we, in this day and age, here he comes. Come on. Hey, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. You're on the camera. Wee. Good boy. Dog. What am I doing? Alright. Keep going a little bit. I'm living in my house truck. Have been for quite some time, and before that I was actually just living in my car and my trailer, and just sleeping in my trailer, and that was a bit that was just the basics. It's just somewhere to sleep, and you got somewhere to store your things in your car, and a little bit of space in the trailer. It wasn't much for living space, but it was super comfy to sleep. Anyway, now I've got living space, kitchen, a veranda. I've got a couch, kitchen, plus a separate sleeping space, storage. So it's very comfy. And maybe we can move right away from this, this what do you call it? Development of land titles, where we just divide it up into squares, and then people make money off other people's hard work, and the environment slowly disappears under our roads and all the things we build. And maybe we can just be out in nature more, like literally with solar power, and just I've got a hot shower if I need it. I can make a hot shower just on the stove, on the fire, just heat up water in a bucket and then 12-volt shower. I've got lights, I've got a fridge, I've got an inverter so I can run like all the 240 normal appliances off that if the batteries are charged. And literally we could just make our own little town anywhere. Like we can just find a space in the forest and the instant town. And if we need to be somewhere like around farms and that kind of thing to help the farm work, or maybe there's a big building construction so people need to be there. Yeah, I mean, if you got kids and family, then you can still do it. You see lots of people traveling with their kids, with a caravan or a bus or whatever. So the whole housing thing, like, at the moment it's a pyramid scheme. So everyone's just working hard to get their, get on the pyramid, and then trying to get their way up the pyramid so that they're not just paying someone else's rent and mortgage. And it's not the best way we could be spending our lives and our time. So yeah, maybe we just do not need the urban city, or to a much less extent than we think we do, because they just keep getting bigger and uglier and less pleasant to live in. Sure. Yeah, maybe we can just abandon that. Okay, and there's a bit of a recap of yesterday, because that all got quite intense. It did. Because, yeah, I mean, we're talking about some pretty serious things, and and women's health, the war on things like candida, and just these. Yeah, there's a few chronic ailments that just destroying people's quality of life. I've got good friend who's an amazing musician, and she works so hard to just look after herself and her son, and you know, so life's hard already. And then if you've got, you know, if you've still got your health, that's the saying, then yeah, at least you've still got your health. Like, even if everything else goes wrong, if you don't have your health, life is just miserable. It's so hard. And look at this, you know, we're in this age of like scientific discovery, scientific knowledge, and we're going too far on the road. Buddy, and you know, we're spending all this money on war and mutually assured destruction, or just war games. Like, it really is just war games, but with real people's lives and well-being and money being wasted. And you know, if we spent those resources on things like cancer research and it just freeing up the world from this terrible crap, then the world could be a better place. Whoop! I left my dogs. Where'd they go? Buddy, whoop! Yep. Alright, we're going back now. We made to the road. See civilization. I mean, roads are good, cars are good, but we just could back up. You know, I'd love to see the world go back in some ways 100 years, you know, like take a leaf out of the Amish book and actually bring back the horse and cart and just the traditional methods of living, and stop the process of just, you know, corporate interests on every different level, you know, the monetization of everything, where people can't afford to just farm in a traditional way because they're too poor. But we're so rich in so many ways. Like, technology has just made life easy. We're still asking the rest of the world to work terribly hard in their factories, and that's another aspect of planned obsolescence, where it's just production for the sake of production, and people are you know, in non-Western countries, they are working who knows how many hours a week to just make this stuff that we don't really value or want that much, but it's there, and so we consume it for the sake of, you know, corporate profit margins. So, you know, we've got to be aware of what the modern lifestyle means. That's not a great life. Like, you know, 40 hours a week is hard. There's probably people doing 60. Come here. Oh, come on. Come on, quick. Car's coming. Yeah, no. Come on, quick. Come on, good girl. Buddy, come on. All right, naughty dog's got to go back on the lead. Here. Come here. Here's my other dog. All right, you're on the lead now. Right. And so, yeah, that's the cost of comfort, is that, you know, we're just passing the buck and asking someone else to work so hard, and, you know, these economies rely on it, but if they're making quality products, then they don't have to make 50 million new blow-up banana beds. They could just make some quality products that we actually need, and not have to make so many of them and not use so many resources to do it, and probably have more time to spend with their families and just living life. Come on! Yeah, naughty dog, he's gone. We'll find him in a second. That's me. Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to do too many things. Hope he'll be back, but he's being a pest. Right, anyway, so I'll call it quits there just for now. So hopefully, yep, Big Pharma and the deep state military industrial complex just decides to give us all a universal basic income and just give us ownership of give everyone just freedom from rent and mortgage, and interest-free loans are a great way for the capitalist system of free enterprise to exist on a bedrock of just socialist sharing, just making sure everyone's okay, and then we can do amazing things and just, live good lives and keep the world, protect the environment that we've got around us. So, yeah, let's work towards that. So that's just my little recap. And, peace and love, people. Like, whichever God that you do or do not worship, then let's make that process of religious observance peaceful. And, yeah. All right, cool. Bye-bye.